Hi everyone, what are you expecting today? Because whatever you expect, that's exactly what you're going to receive. Let's be honest. We only expect presents on Christmas, our son to come back from the army, our daughter to get married. We're expecting that car to be in front of the garage, our first baby, our first house. What am I saying? We're only expecting those major emotional impacts that has on our emotional state of being, on our being. That's what we're expecting. When we talk about manifesting, creating and manifesting, we think that those are the only things that we can create or manifest. But we can create and manifest our day, our lifestyle. Now, what's a lifestyle? A lifestyle is a strategy or a plan, or how to. Built within every desire, built within every vision that you have for your life, there's also the strategy or the plan or the mechanics to get you there. I teach my clients to create a vision for life, lifestyle. Life is in the tongue. What would you like to have around you and say, this makes me feel so good. This color on the wall, it's my perfect color. The carpet on the floor, the countertop, the cabinets, it's exactly what I truly love. Now you might say, well, I don't know what I love. You see, if you don't know what you love, then you must develop a liking for things, liking for certain colors. I had worked in interior design for a while and I developed liking for colors and textures. I began to grow in the awareness on how to combine colors and textures. I didn't like everything that the architect and designer were doing, so I understood, okay, that's what they like, that's what the client likes, but I didn't like it. And so you look at what is and it speaks to you. You say, no, there's so many colors on the green card, on the paint card. You might like the lightest color. I might like the emerald right at the end. There's no right or wrong. One thing, if you go on the spectrum of it, there's many variations of it. On the spectrum of your life, if you were thinking of having a painter's tape with the sticky side up, everyone has one of those tapes. Your desires are the seeds, or the scenes, or your life. I cannot ask you, and I cannot cause you to like something that I don't like. We are here to understand that creation is all finished, and only what I feel inside, it's rightfully mine. Only what I desire within, it's rightfully mine. A lot of people say, well, I don't know what I want. What you're saying is, I'm not the owner of anything. I don't own anything. I have no power. There's nothing out there that pleases me. We have grown so dull, so tired of working hard for what we want, of figuring out what we love. And we get to the point where we say, I'm just giving up. Instead of giving up, understand that creation is already finished. You just have to look out and say what it is you would like. Well, how do I figure that out? I don't have money. Well, it's obvious. That's the law of polarity. That's the lack and there's the plenty. Well, how plenty? How big is the cup? How full do you want that cup? Okay, I'm single. Well, we know automatically that the opposite of that, the law of polarity, says there is being together. And so when I refer to, for example, relationships, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. You have lived this portion of your life. This sticky tape has all kinds of emotional impacts or things that you've expected or unexpected. But you know you have allowed them to be manifested. They came through you and then they happened for you. Life is created by you, for you. It doesn't happen to you. And that's what we need to understand when we come into the law of attraction. So whatever you have left, let's create a lifestyle. Let's create a vision, a life vision. If anything is possible, if anything exists, and ask yourself right now, when it comes to the possibility of money, possibility of relationship, possibility of things that you can own, relationships and health, what's the highest that you have ever become aware of? Remember, do you remember when you heard how much someone has made in life? Do you remember that, have you ever heard of that best relationship where him and her or two people together where they had the best of relationship? Then it's possible for you if that is what you want. You see, a desire comes from within. A desire, it's telling you this is what you love. Stop ignoring me. It's the beacon of light that comes out and says, okay, listen, are you going to pay attention to me? Because I've been speaking to you louder than I can. Now pay attention to me. I'm going to take this into the context of a relationship. Sometimes we enter in a relationship and we're not entering with a made-up mind, meaning we don't know where we're entering into a relationship. We don't know what it is we want, and we just keep hopping here and there. But all of a sudden in this relationship, you develop a desire of growth. I want to move into the next step. Now, you may be a woman, and contrary to popular belief, you have been taught that you never bring up the next step in the relationship. You should not expect and you should not demand. And you should not assume. So if you're in the relationship, don't assume that you're going to be married. But if in the relationship, don't expect to be married. And don't talk about it. So it's like, wait a minute. Why is someone else in the control of my space, my sticky tape? So women have been advised the wrong way not to bring up the conversation. But if you have this desire and it's calling to you, it's touched you, it's touched your heart, and you've been touched by it. Now your partner may not see that image. He or she may not have that vision. You've got a few options. First of all, you have to have the talk. And here's the talk. We have been taught in life to do, to have, and to be. Let's do the doing. Let's pretend as if we're the most loving couple. Let's pretend that, this interaction, this type of relationship is the best of the relationship. And then you're going to have what you want, and then you're going to become married. No. First of all, you are the being, then you do the doing, and then you have the having. So when you have a desire, that's referring to the being. It's the being inside of you. It's that higher version of you. It's that little seed on the sticky tape in your future that says, listen, I'm calling you, lift your eyes up, because in the future, you are a person that's being married. Now, who do you listen to? You have in front of you two choices: stay where you are or hold on to that vision or image. If it comes from within, I would say be faithful to the inner being. You see, adults commit adultery. You know what adultery is? Adultery is being faithful to the outside circumstance more than you are being faithful to the inner image. Children are faithful to the inner image. When you see a child pretending to be Batman and flying on a plane, he's more faithful to himself and his desire at heart. Even though the outside circumstance says, listen, you're a 5-year-old little boy. You're playing in the backyard with a little red cape and you have this little airplane toy. But he knows in his mind that that little airplane matches the one in the sky. And he knows that him being Batman is just like the guy on TV. He sees the adult side of him, the future, the reality of the spirit within, the spirit or energy or thought or image. And so adults are committing adultery every single moment. Now you have already been said, if you look upon a woman and you desire her in your heart, you commit adultery. This is referring, when you look upon, you can take it many ways, but understand this: whatever you look upon and you desire it more, how do you desire something? Through fear or love? You become one with it. It has to come into manifestation. So one thing we need to understand is this. When we enter into the relationship, not knowingly why we entered into it, and the time comes, the desire rises within you, who are you going to be faithful to? Yeah, you're an adult, but if you're not that little girl inside, right now, your desire is that little seed or the little girl that it's telling you up ahead, you're going to become that woman. Can you see yourself? Can you see that image? Can you see yourself walking in your majesty and in your grandeur way and in your beautiful way of being the bride? I actually get shivers on my legs right now. Usually when I get images, right, they actually impact me emotionally. So understand that your desire, it's your soul. The reason you're talking about marriage is because what's in the heart, what's in the tongue, it's in the heart. The mouth speaks from the abundance of the heart. So if your partner, you bring up the conversation and you say, listen, we've been doing a lot of having a lot of things. I want to become something. They're going to say you're nuts or you're crazy or you're insane, because they go in the order of operation with a pattern, the old way of being. Not understanding first we must be, do, and have. So the moment you create this shift in the relationship and you say, I have decided to become something else, you're disrupting a pattern. They may not catch up with the pattern. They may not understand it. They may not be right with you. But it's good to have the talk and understand. You are here to be faithful to the image. You see, the hardest thing to live with is regrets. Regrets come from always going back into conformity and conform to other people's dreams. If they don't want to be married, you say, they might as well just stay here. I've done that in my relationships. Well, if you don't want to move this and you don't want us to build a business together, then I'm going to stay with you and we're always going to be poor, sick, and broke. Not understanding that I always have an option. When the desire comes upon you, it says you have to grow. And as I was speaking with my personal assistant the other day, when you lift that desire up, you're drawing your manifestation onto you. It means everything that's necessary to bring you there, it will come running. Something would fall away, the shaft will fall away, and what's pure will stand. So if your desire is truly, truly pure, it has touched you, you have been touched by it. Our ideas, our desires, our images are alive within us. Unless somehow you bury that desire of being married and you say, okay, well, we might as well just stay here. But where are you moving? Because as energy or spirit, you came here to grow. And if you're not growing, where are you going? My coach and mentor, Bob Proctor, said, we never stay stuck. We go back into conformity and then into dis-ease or disintegration. Dis-ease, it's a body, it's a soul that's not at ease. It's not in peace. So you're going to live tormented between what is and what it could be. What is out here and what it could be. That image. Who are you faithful to? Are you committing adultery? You're sinning. You're deviating from this image. You need to learn to troubleshoot yourself and to say, no, I must be faithful to this. And if you find yourself deviating, waiting on the outside circumstances to change, you say, no, I'm faithful to this. I'm not an adult. I must become like a little child to enter into the kingdom or that image. So if they say no, if they're confused, if they're whatever it is, then guess what? You shine brighter than ever before. Because the moment you hold on to that decision and that agreement, the shaft will fall away and the best candidate will come running. Now you're ready. There are people on the planet that are ready at the exact mental state, and you attract what you're in harmony of vibration with. So when you have a desire, get ready. Make some changes. You know, when you expect a baby, you prepare the house. When you expect your son to come from the army, you do all the preparations. You invite your friends over. Like, you got to see the guy, the son that was gone for a long time, and he's coming back home, and you guys have to welcome him and all of that, right? So you make preparations. What do you do now? Well, you stay faithful to the image. You stay faithful to your desire and make preparations. How? What kind of wedding dress would I like? What kind of shoes would I like to wear? Now, if you're a guy, you might say, what kind of suit would I like to wear? You see, all has to come from within. You have communion with that heart, with that image, and say, what would I look like? And all of a sudden, a sight comes to mind. A ring comes to mind. A color comes to mind. Flowers. What's the flower that I usually like? And all of a sudden, you put your wedding together. You're preparing. You see, the only price you need to pay to get to your desire is the changing or the change in the course of your thoughts. What you up until this moment in your relationship have not done, now you're doing something else. You've shifted and your thoughts turn to things. And so when we disobey our desire, we end up living dull lives. The reason a lot of people don't know what they want is because they have always dismissed their heart. So they will go through an emotional impact to shock them, so they can see the difference between how bad it is and how good it can be. But we don't have to do that. We can learn through repetition, understanding that when I have a desire, it's calling to me. It's saying, come up here, rise a little higher. Can you see? Come up here to the mountain. Let's spend some time together, because your whole appearance is going to change. And so become the little child so that you can enter into that image, so that that image can manifest itself. Okay? So what are you expecting? You should expect your desire. When you have a desire, that's that emotional impact. That's that big, major thing that it's about to happen in your life. Give it full attention, give it all your focus, and use your imagination to create the picture of what that would look like. Okay? Because that's where you're heading. Wherever you send yourself in imagination, that is where your body shall go also. Now, who's going to follow you? Who's going to be there? Who's that man? Who's that woman? Maybe right now you're confused or they're confused. You just hold on to the vision. And if they're for you, they'll be there. Who can stand against your desire? Only you. Use the law of non-resistance and say, I'm not resisting my desire anymore. I am going to welcome it. I am going to receive it. I am going to expect it. And I'm going to embrace it with my whole, soul or image. Meaning, I am holding this like the most precious gift. Why? Because you are the most precious gift. Okay? So, I don't know where you find yourself in relationships. I don't know where you're at. Understand that you must be. That's the first duty. You must respond to the being within you first, to that image. Then you do the doing, and then you have the having. Not do, have, and be. Be one with that image. Stay faithful to it. Then you do the doing. You prepare yourself mentally, and you see all these things put together, and then you're going to have it. Creation is already finished. This sticky tape that I said, every desire that you have, it's part of your future. It's just telling you, okay, it's just around the corner, just around the bend. Don't be frightened. It's just around the bend. The nicer, the bigger the desires you have and the more exciting, the better your life is. You just say, why should I worry? Why should I fret? I know what I want, the happiest of relationships. And so, why would you be afraid? There's nothing to fear. It's just an illusion. So your desire, that image, comes to save you the fear, the doubt, and the worry. It says, stop looking at what is, look at what it could be. Look here. Only two places we can draw ideas and conclusions or fears or love from. We draw fear, doubt, and worry from the darkness or this world that's already manifested, or we draw love, peace, and joy from this image that it's about to come. So make up your mind. Adults commit adultery because they're faithful to the outside circumstances. They have dulled their minds and their consciousness to what is on the outside. But a little girl and a little boy is still a dreamer at heart and still continues to fantasize, continues to dream and be in that flow, in that state of flow. When? Until it overflows. And when it overflows, it's manifested. So stay in the flow of it. Let it just embrace you. Commune with that image. Wow, wouldn't it be nice? I could see it. Wow. All of a sudden, your countenance, your spirit changes. You have been pulled in. You have been taken in, swept in, embraced, welcomed. And when you welcomed it, it welcomed you. When Adam left the Garden of Eden, God says, listen, you left me, but I left you. What you want wants you. What you leave left you. Right? And so welcome it in, because it will welcome you in. It's this vacuum thing. The law of it's like a vacuum. You're putting out, but it's coming back in. So you're more powerful than you think. Your power is in this alignment with that image, and your life is in the tongue. Whatever you say, it must come. All right? So change your thinking, change the image, change the speech, and whatever comes into becoming one, when the three become one, that's when it's manifested. All right? Oneness is called wholeness, integrity. It's this alignment. You must become one. Be like a little girl, be like a little boy, and become one and embrace that desire, that vision. And it's yours. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.